Hello friends, Mandar here. I'm back with another video. Today we'll talk about EAD and AP applications along with 485. What are the mistakes that lawyers do during this process? We'll also talk about H1b to EAD and EAD back to H1b and questions related to that. We'll talk about what's happening with the Canadian Open Work Permit for H1b visa holders, how are the approvals coming in, and finally we'll talk about the October visa bulletin, which is not yet published at the time of this video. So watch this video until the end and let's get started. If you are here for the first time, welcome. My name is Mandar and I make immigration and lifestyle related videos for US and Canada. I'm not an immigration lawyer, so anything that I say on this video or on my channel is for information purpose only. And for your specific immigration needs, before you take any action, you should hire a competent immigration lawyer. Now, if you need my opinion on your particular situation, do contact me on my Calendly. I reserve 30 minutes for individuals to speak with me and I provide my feedback to them. Remember, this will be a non-legal advice, but with my years of experience in this area, I can give you my perspective. Also, if you don't want to talk to me, there is always the Patreon site where you can exchange text messages with me. Now, with that said, before we move forward, check out the links in the description because those are affiliate links. And if you like something, you'll also indirectly help the channel. And while you are down there, a like will be awesome. So let's go to our first topic of the day. Now, some people have contacted me that there has been some problem with their 485 application. Not the application in particular, but applying for EAD and AP along with 485. Now remember, USCIS allows people to apply for I-131, which is advanced parole, and also EAD card, which is I-765, along with the 485 application, which is adjustment of status. The idea behind that is, while you are on 485, you will need a work authorization unless you have an H1b or an L1 or similar visa to work. If you don't have that, purely on 485 you cannot work unless you have an EAD. So EAD will give you at that work authorization. And then for the travel, if you don't have H1 or L1 stamped on your passport, the advanced parole card will allow you to come back to the US without interrupting your 485 or adjustment of status. Now, sometimes what has happened is the lawyers did not apply for the EAD and AP application along with the 485, which is a no-brainer to me because applying EAD and AP application along with 485 is of no cost to the individual. At least the filing fees are not there. The only fees you will be paying is to the lawyers for filing those applications. So in no circumstances do I see any exception to filing the EAD and AP card. So you should always apply for EAD and AP card along with your 485 application. I didn't think this was any issue until few people reached out to me and said they thought that they had applied for EAD and AP, but apparently their lawyers did not, because some companies skimp out on this immigration fees if you particularly have your H or L valid for the next 3 years. They say that you don't need any EAD and AP, and in that case they just tell their corresponding lawyers not to file for them, because although there is no filing fee, there is a charge for lawyer fees as well. So keep this in mind. If you are working with a lawyer, make sure that when you are applying for your 485, which is adjustment of status, they are also filing your EAD and AP application, which is 131 and 765. So that was my first topic. I just wanted to kind of remind everybody. Now, while we are on the EAD and AP topic, let's talk about going from H1b to EAD and coming back to H1b. Now, as you know, if you are on H1b and if you are continuously extending your H1b and if you want to travel during your H1b period in the United States, you must have a stamped H1b on your passport while coming back. Now, if you have changed the job and if you have previous employer's H1b stamped on your passport, you can still come back on that previously stamped H1b. You don't need to restamp as long as it's valid. The only thing you will need to have along with it is the approval notice of your new H1b or transferred H1b petition. So along with the transferred H1b petition and your stamp from your past employer, which is still valid, you can still enter the United States. Now, I will go further to say that if you had a passport that was expired, but your valid visa of H1b stamp was stamped on your old passport, and now you got a new passport, you can carry both passports to come back to United States. That is also possible. If you have any questions regarding that, do reach out to me and I'll give you further explanation on that. Now talking about going from H1b to EAD and coming back. So when you are on adjustment of status, as I said before, you are eligible to get green card based EAD card. Now this EAD card will not be in use if you continue to use your H1b, which is fine because you can always continue to be on H1b while you are on pending adjustment of status. But in certain situations, if the employers don't support filing extensions because you have an EAD based on your adjustment of status, in that case you might want to go on EAD. Now there are two ways of going on EAD. First way is just let your employer know that you are going to stop using H1b, which is about to expire, and you are going to start using your valid EAD card as long as you have received that. And you fill out a new I-9 form with your employer, and that way you switch your status from H1b to EAD. So that's one method. The second method is if you travel outside the United States and while coming back, if you don't have a valid H1b stamp, but if you do have your EAD AP combo card or advance payroll document to come back, that way you can enter back in the United States as a parolee using your advance parole. Now once you use our advance payroll, your status on your I-94 is going to be DA entry. It will no longer be H1b. So even if somebody tells you that you were on H1b while you went outside the United States, now you have, although you have come back on AP card, you are technically on H1b. That is wrong. You are now technically on DA entry status, which is a parolee status. That status is given specifically for your pending adjustment of status. So US allows you to stay in the United States while your adjustment of status is pending. So that is a period of authorized stay. You are not technically on H1b. Now once you come back, your AP is not your work authorization, neither is your pending I-485. Your work authorization at that point of time is going to be EAD card. So you automatically start using EAD card. You submit your I-9 form to your employer, updating their files with EAD card. Now if you still want to continue back on H1b, there are a couple of ways to do this. Your employer needs to file an extension or an amendment for your petition. So that way USCIS will reissue your H1b status and they will give you a new I-94, which will be electronic. Your electronic file will be updated with a new H1b status with a new validity in your I-94. So that's the only way to come back on H1b. If you don't do this process, although you will think that you are on H1b, you are technically not going to be on H1b. You will be on parolee status, which will say DA entry on your I-94 online. So that's the thing I wanted to clarify. There are lots of people who are going back and forth on H1b and parolee status, and they have a lot of questions. So I thought this point was very important. Now, before we go further, let's take a look at the sponsor's note. So I know for sure that some of you are interested in stock trading, day trading, buying cryptocurrencies. I want to present you Webull. Webull is a trading platform. It allows you to buy stock. It allows you to buy options, do options trading, and also it allows you to buy cryptocurrency. Webull 9 was released with a brand new home and market page, asset page, and economic calendar. Also, Webull Cash Management was launched with 5.8% API with no fees attached and no minimum balance and unlimited withdrawals. This is amazing. New Webull USA users can still enjoy 5.8% APY and get up to 12 free stocks when making an initial deposit of each is valued between $3 and $3,000. Feel free to take advantage of this. Join through my link and you will get those free stocks. Now, what's happening with the Canadian Open Work Permit for H1b holders? Remember back in July, specifically 16th and 17th of July, there were 2 days of frenzy of applying for this Open Work Permit for Canada visa. This visa was specifically designed for H1b people who are in the United States. Now, a lot of people applied for that visa. There were about 10,000 applications accepted, and I have been getting notified from a lot of people that they are finally getting their Canadian Open Work Permit visa. Now this approval is coming in 2 stages. They let you know about the approval and ask you to send them your passport. Now passport is going to be used to stamp your new open work permit on your passport. So that is the reason they are asking for the passport. And then the second thing that they are going to do is give you a letter that will be used by you when you enter Canada. At that point of time, you start your open work permit. So that is the process that I'm understanding that they are using. They are issuing the validity period of 3 years. From all the people that I have heard, everybody got the validity period for 3 years, which is incredible because now you have 3 years to decide whether you want to move to Canada or not. Now people go on to ask me further questions about how do they qualify for the permanent residency in Canada. Now you got to remember that if you are in your late 30s or 40s, it will be very difficult for you to qualify for those points that are required for permanent residency in Canada. Now your job in Canada will get you those 50 or 200 points, but that will only be if that job is LMIA based, which is labor market impact assessment based job. If that job is not LMIA based, then it will have to be LMI exempt job. Only then you will get those 50 or 200 points based on your level. And then the last point I wanted to mention is, where is October 2023 visa bulletin? I was expecting it to be available by the end of this week, but today is Friday and the last I checked just now, it's still not available. So I'm guessing it will be available early next week or definitely by the end of next week. Now this is going to be interesting because those dates are going to reflect how many people are going to get their green cards in the near future, in the next year. If you wanted to know about my predictions, please watch my previous video where I go into the details of the predictions for EB1, EB2 and EB3. I am also waiting for the October visa bulletin to be issued. I'll be traveling for the next few days, but if I see the October visa bulletin come out, I'll be sure to make a short video on it and let you guys know what I think about the dates moving forward. So those were the topics I wanted to talk about today. If you haven't liked or subscribed to my channel, do so immediately because that will get you into the giveaway, which will be coming up in the next 2 or 3 weeks. It will be an Apple Watch that is coming up next week. So like the video, comment on the video and subscribe to my channel. Wish you all the best. Hope you like the content of this video and I'll see you in the next one.